Survivors of sunken ship express anger at court delays. Businesses return to normal after ethnic clashes. And NASFAN's NCSL plans to become a bank in future.
This is National EMTV News with Lorraine Genia.
Hello and welcome to Tuesday's news. Witnesses and survivors of the Rabaul Queen disaster in 2012 have expressed anger at the court hearing yesterday and today in Kokopo. The disgruntled survivors and witnesses say it is costly to travel to and fro to attend the case, and that has now dragged into its fourth year. This comes after the case of Peter Sharp's Rabaul Queen was further adjourned for the second time today. Edwin Fidelis reports from Kokopo.
This is a case, yeah.
The Rabaul Queen court case involving owner Peter Sharp hasn't brought peace to those who survived or lost their loved ones in the 2012 ferry disaster. Many of them who turned up to testify in court yesterday and today about the 2012 ordeal were left in despair when the court was adjourned for the third time since yesterday. Fabia Aroro, who is a resident of Kokopo, had to become a witness on her sister's behalf as her sister can't make it to Kokopo for the court case because of the high travel cost.
I think look blami to goy come court and me expensive. Milusi walk to.
The case that has now dragged into its fourth year left many of them frustrated, hoping the final court decision will be made this week.
But also to sort of keep long. Rausim deslah bel karai long hat long ona. So that's why they are here to also show him deslah support long court deslah.
Earlier today, Sharp appeared in court after his case was adjourned yesterday. Justice Coram Higgins, who presided the trial, had to suspend the case this afternoon until tomorrow following request from the state prosecutors. Justice Higgins today reduced Sharp's manslaughter charge from 172 to only 88, following request from Sharp's lawyers. Sharp's Rabaul Queen case will resume 9:30 tomorrow.
Na planti long all relatives who are standing with me, Lord here, and all to all can witness him this lang. That only lose him all lavans blong Lord is la sinking of the Rabaul Queen that we have been encounter him long the 2nd of February 2012.
The survivors and witnesses are waiting for their turn to be called to the witness box to tell their story and put an end to this 4-year-old court case. Edwin Fidelis, National EMTV News, Kokopo.
The murder case involving 6 PNGDF soldiers has taken a new twist. The Waigani National Court was told this morning that one of the accused assaulted a state witness a day after the case was struck out by the Waigani Committal Court. However, a lawyer representing the soldiers told the court the assaulted victim was not a state witness. Tekla Gunga reports.
The focus on the submissions on the bail application for the 6 soldiers shifted slightly when the state lawyer brought to light this information. In the arguments presented before presiding judge Panuel Morgis, the state lawyer objected to the submissions based on an affidavit provided by the victim of the alleged assault. However, the soldier's lawyer told the court that the victim in the alleged assault was not an initial state witness, but claimed to be only after the assault. Following a number of submissions presented before Judge Morgis on whether the bail application was worth hearing, Judge Morgis agreed to listen to the application. The application will be heard tomorrow. Meanwhile, the 6 soldiers are remanded at the Bomana prison. Tekla Gunga, National EMTV News.
The situation in and around Madang town has been quiet as of midday Sunday, and all business operations are slowly springing back into normalcy as of yesterday. When the clash between people from Western Highlands and the East Sepik happened on Saturday, all businesses were closed and everyone was left trapped and helpless. Several Madang MPs stepped in to show their leadership, and the situation was under full control when reinforcements from Morabe travelled to Madang the very next day. Rachel Shise reports from Madang.
This illustrates a bit of what happened on Saturday. Houses and cars were torched, and those who wanted to access services in town and elsewhere were trapped and helpless. As soon as the Morobe Mobile Squad and Task Force, as well as some correctional service officers arrived in Madang and joined forces with the Madang police, the operations to disperse the angry mob of East Sipics and Western Islanders kicked off, especially for the major roadblocks.
One plan along Villa Mouse Road, another plan along Public Tank, another plan along Mero Bridge. So we play come na Alpin Madang Police long dispersible.
The Madang Provincial Police Commander, Superintendent Jacob Singura, is commending the quick response from the Morobe Police for the reinforcement to contain the situation from getting nasty.
They traveled Saturday night until daybreak Sunday morning, and when we were confronted with that situation, they really reinforced our strength that we were able to push these people back, particularly the Sipics. Then we managed to gain control of the situation and cleared up all roadblocks that were, set up, and cleared up the road as well of people gathering in numbers with weapons.
The roads behind me were empty. Only the police vehicles were operating in and around Madang town. With the police presence now being felt, people are slowly coming out, and the situation is expected to return to normal after this week. On-the-ground report says some people were stabbed in the clash, but the casualties are not confirmed at this stage. Rachel Shise, National EMTV News, Madang.
The Madang Provincial Police Commander, Inspector Jacob Singura, is assuring the public to go about their business as usual because police will be on full watch. The PPC is also warning the two groups that police will not tolerate any uprising from now on.
The Madang Provincial Police Commander, Superintendent Jacob Singura, has admitted that the lay police reinforcement really helped with the Madang police manpower shortage situation in the recent clash between the East Sipics and the Western Islanders.
When the incident erupted on Saturday, we tried our very best to ensure it did not, the clash, the confrontation did not actually take place. That was a really trying moment for my officers in Madang, in which we maintained calm and we just did a lot of mediation, talking to the various parties.
However, Superintendent Singura says that safety is guaranteed for the Madang public for business to proceed as usual.
I can say with confidence that yes, we are in control. The police are in control of the situation and normalcy has returned. And I encourage the public and business to commence business, and from us it should be business as usual as of today.
Nonetheless, Singura is also appealing to the two warring ethnic groups to not instigate further rebellions.
Particularly the Sipic settlers and Western Highlands settlers and any other settlers as well who's trying to take sides. My appeal is to refrain, because police have now gone into special operations and they will deal with anybody going around town in public places or in vehicles, and also gathering in ethnic groups we call illegal assembly. Police will use our powers to disperse and to arrest.
Rachel Shise, National EMTV News, Madang.
The appointment of a new Vice-Chancellor for the University of Natural Resource and Environment is the way forward to ensure stability and growth. That's from Professor David Kavanagh, the Higher Education Secretary. He said Professor John Warren will head the university as the new Vice-Chancellor following the endorsement by the National Executive Council. This follows the termination of Professor Philip Siaguru for alleged mismanagement of funds.
The investigation into the UNRE saga is a result of allegations made by Rabaul MP Dr. Alan Marat in the recent Parliament sitting. UNRA Council Pro-Chancellor George Bopi said terminated Vice-Chancellor Professor Philip Siaguru has been referred to the fraud squad. The case has taken almost a year because of the issues surrounding it.
When we investigated the whole allegations that were raised on the floor of Parliament by the then member for Rabaul, Honorable Marat, there were 10 allegations made, and of the 10 allegations, 2 of the allegations have a lot of incriminating evidence or material that is beyond the council's ability to deal with. What the council can do at this stage is to establish that they were against the contract that the Vice Chancellor had with the university. There was some breach of contract.
Has come to this stage where the university is now handing over all of these documents to the National Fraud Squad. And I believe, and as you know, the work of that unit within the police department, we believe they will take it on from us and effectively finalize this and put it through to the court system.
Meanwhile, a new Vice-Chancellor, John Warren of Aberystwyth University in Wales, United Kingdom, has been appointed.
John Warren has had 30 years of experience in research and higher education, is new to this country, and hopefully is going to bring with him that international exposure.
This was done through the Higher Education Provisions Act 2014, where the Higher Education Office has the upper hand to intervene tertiary-level institutions when there is mismanagement. This act was also put into action back in 2015, when the Higher Education intervened with the University of Goroka student protests that turned violent and appointed the University Interim Council. Marilyn Diaukatam, National EMTV News.
Among stories after the break, NASFAN Savings and Loan Society holds its first annual general meeting since its setup in 2003. Stay with us. Welcome back to Tuesday's news. Since its establishment in 2003, the NASFAN Savings and Loan Society, or NCSL, held its first ever annual general meeting today. The society has grown from initial membership of 6,000 to over 77,000 members today. Among a number of NCSL's plans for the future is to eventually become a bank.
It was NCSL's very first annual general meeting, but it saw a very poor turnout from members. Those who were there, however, were fortunate to hear from NCSL's board and supervisory committee. Board Chairman Ian Tarutia said the society has grown from 6,000 members with 9 million kina to 77,000 members with over 130 million kina today. NCSL now has plans to become a bank.
The society where it is today has very ambitious plans going forward. We have a strategic plan to take your society from where it is to another status under the financial sector scenario that is regulated by the bank. In fact, we actually have a plan to become a bank. And when you become a bank, then the offerings that we're able to provide to you are far greater.
General Manager for NCSL, Vari Lahui, ran through the figures from the society's audited financials as of the 31st of January 2015, which included a net profit of 5.6 million kina and a 2.3% net asset increase.
You will note our member savings has been growing every year and reached over 112 million at the end of 2015. This represented 22.3% of total member savings held and shows that we have a sizable market share when compared with the other savings and loan societies.
In 2016 and beyond, Mr. Lahui said the society is looking at further improving its member services and systems. These also include introducing debit card and upgrade of NCSL smartphone apps. Deli Waigeno, National EMTV News.
Mainland Holdings has announced a strong performance in the face of depressed economic conditions. The company has highlighted its diversification, 2015 investments and tight cost controls as key factors to the 38 million kina net profit before tax, as well as 5 million kina in dividends to shareholders.
For a decade before 2014, Mainland Holdings had struggled. Bad management and poor cost controls resulted in consecutive losses. In 2012, drastic changes were made. The number of board members were cut from 14 to 7. William Lamour, who was chairman of Nest Fund, was asked to be chief executive for 6 months.
2011, there was a deliberate decision by Nest Fund to come in and salvage a great icon PNG company. For mine, it was just very badly managed.
Today, for the second year in a row, Mainland Holdings paid dividends to its shareholders. 4.8 million kina was paid out. The shareholders are companies and individuals from the Morobe province.
Management at the time were working on the naivety of our local people, where the board was mostly our people from here. Nothing against them, they had good vision, but delivering and making sure they are getting management to do it, it just wasn't there. So these people were more or less playing at the ignorance of our people.
It's been a difficult road turning Mainland Holdings from a loss-making entity into a shining example of a locally owned, profitable company. And the 38 million kina profit before tax has been particularly sweet given the financial difficulties faced both here and abroad. In 2015, Mainland made significant investments into developing its flour mill and chicken and egg production. The flour mill in particular has produced strong sales results.
I'm a strong believer that you need to put the funds in to be continually upgrading your facilities. And so what we were doing was we were looking at our major assets of the chicken business and the flour business, and also some of our property assets, putting the capital in, and you get the returns come through, and that's what we're seeing now.
New markets in the Highlands have opened up new revenue streams. The company expects to plough back some of its profits into capital expenditure in 2016 to generate future growth. Scott Waide, National EMTV News, Lae.
Lay businesses employing Papua New Guineans say students graduating from higher learning institutions need to be trained according to the jobs available in the PNG economy. At the moment, employers are sourcing skilled people offshore to fill in roles in their daily operation. Bethany Harriman reports.
There are at least 5 tuna factories going to be built around Lae City in the next 6 years, and they are going to be startup businesses that will need to be supported by a skilled and capable workforce made up of Papua New Guineans. But the demand may be too much for the PNG higher education system because some tuna companies already established in Lae are finding it difficult to find the right people for the job.
We are educating a lot of people that will be educated unemployed people because we're not educating them to the jobs that are available.
Majestic Seafood General Manager Wayne Adams runs a startup business that is part of the chain of tuna manufacturing companies planned for Lae City. He says the problem stems from the lack of courses designed for jobs available in the economy.
You can put a job in the paper for an accountant and you can get 20 people. You can put a job in the paper for a refrigeration engineer, a mechanic, somebody skilled, and you'll be lucky if you get 1 or 2 certified, competent people.
Adams isn't alone. Managing Director of real estate company The Professionals, Mike Quinn, who has been in the country longer than Adams, says training in TVET institutes need to be improved to world standards.
We have people that come through the vocational centres and they're doing a reasonable job, but they're not taking the training to the level that we need. So we have to look offshore to get the skills that we need to fix that.
Employers in Lae and Port Moresby are looking in other countries in the Asia-Pacific region who have honed their education system over the years for skilled workers. There is a general consensus that over the last 20 years the quality of education dropped and entirely failed to keep up with demands.
The two lay business leaders spoke out at a recent panel discussion with other CEOs of Lay's businesses in all sectors. They spoke out about the state of the economy, the foreign exchange and education against the growth PNG is experiencing. The full panel discussions will be telecast tonight on MTV's Business PNG at 8 p.m. Bethany Harriman, National MTV News, Lay.
Landowners of the Sepik Plain, which houses the Special Economic Zone, are excited about the project because it will create many spin-off benefits and improve income per capita. Locals expressed satisfaction and gratitude to the investor from Israel, the Ella Group, for their interest in developing their province. MTV's Fabian Hakelitz was in East Sepik and files this special report.
In 1969, forefathers of the Sepik Plains gave the state this portion of land for development. However, 46 years on, most of them have passed away without seeing any development. Village Chief Joe Nugi expressed these words to the delegation led by Yangru Sauce MP, who is also the Trade, Commerce and Industry Minister, Richard Maru. The delegation comprised of Israeli investors, LR Group and Kumul Consolidated Holdings.
Now, 46 years ago, look at service. Also, now, me giving this like ground, me giving this people have ground again. Now, me giving this whole ground, we got an investor. Now, me play no got talk more, me play no got talk ground, me play no talk on him, me play like the service, he can come up, now start from this year and go.
The investors were impressed with the Sepik Plains that's expected to bring many positive impacts, more employment opportunities, more income and many other spin-off benefits.
As you see the planes behind us. They're just waiting for us to come in and do something. And so it's about time to roll up the sleeves and start working. It's a multidisciplinary project. We will do poultry here, both chicken layers and chicken broilers or chicken meat. We will do cocoa. We will also invest in growing our own stock feed and creating a pioneering industry in that regard in PNG. The project will engage directly employees, obviously, from the region, but it will also have a big catchment area, and it will engage as much as smallholders, basically anybody who wants to join in.
The Kumul Consolidated Holdings mandate requires investing in commercial terms and basis, and we're pleased with the vision driven by political leader Richard Barrow.
And we are excited by the Minister's vision that this could be the precursor to much more development in the region. So we will now be entering effectively a due diligence and a review phase for this project, and all the indicators are good at the moment. So we look forward to getting this project off the ground as soon as practicable. We think there's excellent potential here.
Local MP Richard Maru said the national government is keen to support this project with an initial allocation of 5,000 hectares of land. Primary target is to improve the production capability in the domestic market and make it competitive also in the international market.
For our viewers, this project is a chicken and grain project and a cocoa project. Initially, the primary target is to produce enough chicken for both East and West Sepik, and if possible in the long term to export to Indonesia.
Another interest is to produce local feeds to allow reasonable prices for consumer goods like poultry.
Locally produced feed instead of the very expensive import of feed, usually wheat-based out of Australia. This makes the cost of chicken to our consumers very, very expensive compared to other markets in the world. I'd like to, on behalf of our government, challenge both potential investors to bring the negotiations to a close so we can get on with the start of the project. Our government is very keen that this project gets off the ground as soon as possible.
Locals thanked Mr. Maru through his leadership for opening the doors to this project.
Ini belum now na generation ikan pian baoli stop anda bla disla project namba miblai develop na ba yumi senis ba yumi ba stabo sem all tumbuna bla yumi la before noat ba yumi senis na yumi stop
Maru blinim investor kam chat na baoli make it work na ba miblai ka plenty money before mino rukin ngai something na ba mi rukin na mi thank you through. Me people thank you long. Richard investor come chat na. Me hama mas na woki chinchin.
The project is part of the CPEC Special Economic Zone, established as an agro-industrial center costing 15 million kina. Developer LR Group will contribute 15 million kina and Kumul Consolidated Holdings as custodian 35 million kina. Fabian Hakalitz, National EMTV News.
And now looking at our finance news, the kina opened unchanged at $0.3205 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your kina was buying $0.3130, $0.4093 Australian dollars, $0.2712 euro, and 32.19 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, coffee and cocoa closed higher, while gold and copper closed the day lower. Palm oil and crude oil also closed lower, while copper closed the day higher. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed at 20.55 points lower, the ASX closed at 37.87 points higher, and the All Ordinaries closed at 35.21 points higher. You're with National EMTV News. More local and international news after the break. Welcome back to the news. Police Commissioner Gary Barkey has assured Lae Police that the unfinished housing project at Bumbu Police Barracks will be completed. The construction of houses was left incomplete while funding was being held in a trust account. The trust account has since been closed and the funds transferred to a new account which comes under the modernisation program.
The police commissioner says there are funds available for the completion of the 7 duplexes at Lae's Bumbu Police Barracks. The funds were placed in what they call the Barracks Maintenance Trust account. There has been some complications. The trust account was closed, causing a delay in the completion of those houses. Police Commissioner Gary Barkey said police headquarters had to transfer the funds from the old account to the new account, which comes under the national government's modernization funds.
We had to transfer the funds to the new account, which is under the government decision in terms of the modernization funding. So once that is done, we will have the funds released to complete those barracks. We're not giving up on them. We will have them completed.
This is the Bumbu Police Barracks housing project that began in 2012. It cost 2.5 million kina. It was meant to ease the housing problem faced by the constabulary. Into the 4th year and the 7 duplexes still remain incomplete. Barkey has also made plans to rebuild the regional training center, also located at the Bumbu Police Barracks. The buildings remain unfinished after construction began in 2013.
The regional training center will be rebuilt. It's my intention to decentralize the recruit training, so it will be given focused attention, yes.
The training center project is funded by the RPNGC under the modernization program. It costs 3.5 million kina. The project includes the construction of new accommodation barracks for the female and male officers, outdoor training areas and classrooms. It was supposed to be completed in 24 months. Mata Luis, National EMTV News, Lae.
Police Commissioner Gary Barkey says the Morobe Patrol Post area will be the first civilian centre to be developed into a police maritime base to address incidents of sea piracy between the border of Morobe and Ora provinces. Barkey will visit the Morobe Patrol Post at the end of this month to start the first phase of the project.
On the 22nd, I will be back in Lae to visit Morobe Patrol Post Morobe Patrol Force will be one of the first surveillance center that we will build, a maritime surveillance center, and the police maritime unit will be based there. So that's the start of what we want to do in terms of addressing the issue of sea piracy.
The appointment of Ugwalubu Moana as president of PNG Trade Union Congress has been described as illegal and unconstitutional. Mr. Moana was elected president last Friday in Port Moresby, but his appointment has been criticized by union executives. The PNG Trade Union Congress acting president Eddie Gisa says legal processes were not followed in last Friday's meeting when Moana was elected president.
The struggle over the vacant top position for the PNG Trade Union Congress is intensifying. The vacancy was left by former President Michael Malabag before the 2012 national election. Until last Friday, PNG Teachers Association General Secretary Ugwalubu Moana was elected as president of the PNG Trade Union Congress in a special meeting held in Port Moresby. But Moana's appointment has come under intense opposition. Yesterday, TUC executives described the special meeting that appointed Moana as president as illegal and unconstitutional. They claimed requirements under the PNG TUC constitution were breached. One of the requirements includes 50% of all financial affiliates. But at this time, only the energy workers and the National Alliance Employees Unions out of the 18 affiliates have paid the fees and are active financial members. The PNG Teachers Association is not financial, meaning they have yet to pay their annual fees. They also argue that the voting was not done by secret ballot and was not conducted by the Electoral Commission nor supervised by the Electoral Registrar. Notice of the meeting was served only to Port Moresby-based unions, leaving out those in the provinces. PNG TUC Vice President Eddie Gisa said they were wrongly advised to attend the meeting and called on its members to focus on the PNG TUC Biennial Congress, which will happen in July.
Importantly, we were misled by so many people along the way. So many unions, as we speak, are confused at the moment of what's happening. We are not like, we plan to cross-one them the current people, but we'd like them to come forward and resolve this issue for the betterment of the union movement in the country.
Questions were also raised on where Mr. Moana sourced the money to fund the election. Quinten Alomp, National EMTV News.
Members of the Goilala District Development Authority and Bulolo District Development Authority held their first joint District Development Authority meeting yesterday. A memorandum of understanding was drafted for both parties to agree on a joint district border arrangement. The meeting was to look at ways of delivering government services and sharing resources between villages along the border areas of Goilala and Wau.
While Bulolo MP Sam Basil, together with Goilala MP William Sam, brought the district development authorities together yesterday to discuss terms and understandings of how they can deliver government services to the remote and inaccessible villages along the border of Goilala and Wau. Mr. Basil said people along the border have been neglected for more than a decade.
Conflicting situation of where they are in this imaginary line. So that is why mipla working this plan. Agreement mipla pasim or MOU, understanding mipla pasim emlo sharing resources along the border. Some time disaster come up the border, Golala no got money, Bulolo got money, mipla look at him all. Some time mipla no got money, only kiss him resource pass, only look at him all. Kind of thing.
The memorandum of understanding is to ensure that there is legal agreement between the two districts. This MOU draft will cover a total of 16 villages in Bulolo and 15 in Goilala, who will receive basic services such as road links, education and health services.
Understanding mipla pasim emlo sharing resources along the border. Some time disaster come up the border, Golala no got money, Bulolo got money, mipla look at him all. Some time mipla no got money, only kiss him resource pass, only look at him all. Kind of thing.
Of money paid to the shipping guys and the airline guys from Ley to from Port Moresby to Ley.
You know, if these two DDAs, with this MOA, if we can open up this road link, that's an opportunity that our people will benefit from. So hopefully this MOU also sets a basis for each of the presidents and the members of the both DDAs to go and encourage our people to prepare themselves.
Mr. Bastil said the partnership in the long run must be adopted by the national government through the National Planning Department to ensure it is part of the 5-year development plan. He added that it will bring in services and lead to economic growth. Merlin Diaukatam, National EMTV News.
Turning overseas now, in the forests of Cameroon in Central Africa, hundreds of young girls are living a nightmare after being abducted by Boko Haram and used as sex slaves. Among them, 200 girls who were taken from a school in Nigeria almost 2 years ago. Now, Boko Haram is trying to turn them into killers. One of the girls who escaped spoke about the lengths others are willing to go just to escape.
Fati wears the jewelry given to her by her mother and the wedding dress from her rapist, a terrorist from Boko Haram.
They came to our village with guns and told us they wanted to marry us. We said no, we are too small, so they married us by force.
Fati isn't her real name. We must hide her identity for her safety. She was just 14, and her nightmare was just beginning. Boko Haram took her to Sambisa forest, but their stronghold was under attack.
The jets dropped bombs and bullets on us in the forest all the time. All of the girls were so frightened. All of them. They always cried. And the men raped us.
It was full of abducted girls, she says, many from Chibok, living the nightmare with her.
Boko Haram leaders would come to us and ask, who wants to do the suicide bomb? And the girls would say, me, me, me. They were shouting. They were even fighting to do the suicide bombs.
At first, Fati thought that the girls were brainwashed, buying into Boko Haram's brutal jihad.
But it was just because they want to run away from Boko Haram. If they give them a suicide bomb, then maybe they would meet soldiers and tell them, I have a bomb on me, and they would remove the bomb. Perhaps they can run away.
We find Fati in Minawal refugee camp in far north Cameroon. As Boko Haram swept through their villages, Nigerians fled here in their thousands. Now the camp is at more than double capacity. Just beyond those hills is Boko Haram territory. Security officials say the group has infiltrated the camp. Boko Haram often uses abducted children in their attacks, so many here fear young girls the most.
If they see somebody escape from Boko Haram, they feel like they are together with the Boko Haram. It's the Boko Haram that free you to go and do suicide bombs.
Fati never volunteered. Her captor defected and got arrested near the border.
I was free.
Now she is reunited with her mother, who traveled days to get here. But Fati says many others like her are still held captive in Sambisa, so desperate to flee the forest, they will volunteer to die, so perhaps they can live.
Trukai Sports is next. Stay with us for the details.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. The PNG Pukpuk's excusable performance in Hong Kong has struck concerns within the rugby fraternity, questioning whether or not the PNG Rugby Football Union is doing enough or if coaching staff are primarily up to scratch. PNG RFU General Manager Frank Genia released a statement following the national team's 3 straight losses, saying the weekend serves as a harsh but invaluable learning curve for the players and staff. Placed in Pool F, the PNG Pukpuks were up against Spain, Chile and Mexico, losing all three matches 17-15 against Mexico, 19-7 to Chile and 33-0 against Spain was rather embarrassing and not a crowd pleaser for the fans back home in Papua New Guinea.
We're going to try and defend and go from set piece. They won't need too many opportunities, Papua New Guinea. They are a good side as the ball is finally thrown in.
A massive contributing factor to the team's loss abroad, the absence of international game time prior to the tournament, something PNG RFU acknowledged in their recent statement. The results over the weekend were not ideal. It has emphasised to us the need for regular tough international competition against world-class opponents to develop our game to the level required to be competitive on the world stage. Those were the comments from General Manager Frank Genia. This year's team had at least 9 new players that competed in the same tournament last year, and the average age of the current team is only 22. While a win is what everyone wants, these players have been identified over the past 6 months with long-term plans and objectives in mind, and this tournament was the first at such a level for them.
More points, they've just kicked it into row 65.
Regardless of the result, the Pukpuks remain committed to improving their standard at further upcoming tournaments, with Hong Kong being a good learning curve. PNG Netball announced a 29-member training squad for the PNG Under-21 team after a training camp was held during the Easter weekend. The camp was conducted by PNG's national team, the Pepes, and head coach Unaisi Rakora. The 4-day program saw over 60 players taking part.
The train-on squad will join the current high-performance training program in preparation for the next selection scheduled for June 2016. According to the president of PNG Netball, the board is pleased with the high interest and turnout of junior players who turned up to be part of the 4-day program. The program was further complemented by the engagement of the current Peppers, who were able to use this program to impart their skills, knowledge and share their experiences with aspiring players. A further assessment will commence on this current squad in June, and based on the outcome of the evaluation, the squad will then be trimmed down to a final 20-member team. The final 12-member squad will be selected in August 2016 to participate at the Regional World Cup qualifying tournament in Auckland, New Zealand in September. Elijah Levitt, National EMTV Sports.
Employment opportunities are a short-term benefit of the BSB 7th PNG Games coming to the shores of West New Britain. In the long term, the town will reap the benefits of much improved infrastructural developments in the areas of sport and education. While there remains a grey cloud of the construction of the main venue and other satellite sports venues, construction on classrooms, dormitories and athlete accommodation are well underway. J. Tony Construction, owned by Jimmy Baki, is just one of the local companies awarded contracts to renovate and improve the infrastructure in Kimbe.
It's basically brought, in terms of infrastructure to the school, basically, it helps with schools building up the capacity in terms of classrooms and dormitories for the others. For the contractors, some money, basically, some good revenue for the contractors, and basically for the province too. Province will benefit a lot for when the people come in to use other facilities, not only for the schools, but talking about guest house and all this stuff as well. Yeah.
For PDC, another company ecstatic to come on board, the benefits are far greater than just the hosting of the games.
They've shared around the contracts pretty well. We're very happy in being able to be contracted to do some of the work. I know a lot of the other local contractors have also been contracted, and I think it's a great opportunity for West New Britain and for a successful PNG Games. We have a lasting infrastructure for education, for sport, which has been lacking in West New Britain, and yes, give the people a place to come together in a formal setting.
Employment opportunities are a short-term benefit of the Games coming to the shores of West New Britain. In the long term, the town will reap the benefits of much improved infrastructural developments in the areas of sport and education. Owner of the exquisite Walindi Resort on the outskirts of Kimbe and a long-time resident is looking forward to these games for all the right reasons.
Facilities that will be completed here will take the province in good stead to go forward into the future for everybody, and particularly youth with sporting matches and facilities. It's not something that's just going to be here for the short term and then be gone.
Governor of the host province, Sendran Muthaval, is also thankful for the opportunities that come with the hosting of this national event. And Trukai Sports continues, including the latest on the Oceania Champions League. Don't go away.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. The Moira Memorial Cup tournament at Irupara village of Rigo district in the Central Province came alive with an eventful parade during its grand opening. EMTV Sports travelled up to Irupara village to observe the events launching yesterday. Eric Harupma with this report.
Opening of the Moira Memorial Cup tournament yesterday at Irupara village in Central Province began with spectacular uniform display and song performances as part of its opening celebrations. 21 teams comprising of 10 male soccer and 11 female volleyball teams vying for this cup gathered early as 9 in the morning and paraded towards the grandstand area. These teams are Aurimanu, Aleville, Ale teams 1 and 2, Apunavo, Konenama, Irumix, Konamala, Paru Iru, Brothers and Only Rose.
We had about 4 ladies volleyball team and 4 soccer teams. And this year we brought it up, so we have about 10 ladies on the volleyball and then the 10 for the soccer.
This year will be the second year to host this biggest tournament, which started in 2015. It will go for 4 years. It was held to commemorate major sponsor and events organizer Ronnie Jones' late daughter Moira.
Daughter, actually, she passed away, and we wanted to do it to celebrate the anniversary. We thought that we'll do a tournament and call the name Moira Memorial Cup Tournament.
Speaking to MTV, Ronnie Jones said this tournament also provides an opportunity for locals to showcase their raw talents and also compete in other provincial and national tournaments. The tournament will commence on Thursday, 18th of April 2016. National MTV Sports.
Meanwhile, it's do or die day for debutants Lay City Dwellers and the Solomon Warriors, whose tournament hopes will evaporate if they succumb to another defeat tomorrow. Lay City will be hoping for an upset against Auckland City. The NSL title holders showed glimpses of their potential in their 3-0 defeat to Armikel. They looked especially dangerous on the counter to create a number of anxious moments for Armikel's Italian goalkeeper. However, if Auckland City FC dominates possession, the Dwellers' counter-attacking powers could be a dangerous weapon against the defending champions. In the day's other matches, the 2014 runners-up will be aiming to make it 2 wins in a row. The Vanuatu Heavyweights and the Solomon Warriors will kick off proceedings at 11 a.m, followed after by Auckland City and Lay City Dwellers at 1 p.m. And that ends Trukai Sports. The weather details for the next 24 hours when we come back.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
Taking a look at the weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow in the southern region, a shower or 2 for all centres. In the Momase region, chances of few showers for Lay City, a shower or 2 for Madang, Wewak and Vanimo. In the New Guinea Islands region, a shower or 2 for Lorengau and Buka, mostly fine for Kavieng, Kokopo, Rabaul and Kimbe. And lastly, in the Highlands region, few showers, then morning fog for all centres. Now recapping our main stories for tonight. Survivors of sunken ship express anger at court delays. Businesses return to normal after ethnic clashes. And NASFAN's NCSL plans to become a bank in future. And that's the news, sports and weather for tonight, Tuesday, the 12th of April. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Lorraine Genia. Pleasant viewing. Good night.